Hello, and welcome back to the More Money Podcast, or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Jessica Moorhouse, and I've been waiting to make this big announcement forever, it seems. And what I'm talking about is finally, I got the green light from my publisher that I can share more about my book, anything about my book. I can share the title, I can share the description, I can share information on how you can start pre-ordering now, and most importantly, I can share the cover with you. I'm so excited to share all of this with you right now. So let's get to it. What is the name of my book? It is called Everything But Money: The Hidden Barriers Between You and Financial Freedom. It will officially hit bookshelves on December 31st, 2024, so New Year's Eve, which is pretty cool and special. It will be available as an ebook, an audiobook, and I will be the narrator, which I'm really excited about, and of course, paperback. Now, in terms of where you can find it, the best place to find information about where to grab your copy or pre-order your copy is just go to my website, jessicamoorhouse.com/book. I will include it in the description for this episode or video so you can easily find it. Just on my website, honestly, it'll be right in the main menu so you can check it out. But it will have all of the links to all of the main retailers that are going to be carrying my book. So in Canada, we've got Amazon, we've got Indigo, we've got Kobo. In the US, we've got Amazon, we've got Barnes & Noble, and bookshop.org. And as far as I can tell right now, because I've been doing some searching on where can you get it internationally, if you're in the UK or Australia, right now you can also pre-order it on Amazon. And hopefully as it just gets a little bit more popular and maybe even gets translated into other languages, it will be available in other places as well. With that said, I'm always a big advocate for shopping local. So, there is, again, if you go on jessicamoorhouse.com/book, I will include a link that will help you find other potential retailers. But very well, you can start calling your local bookstore and ask, are they going to carry it? And that might incentivize them to buy some copies. And of course, eventually it will also be available in libraries. So that's something to look forward to as well. And I definitely have a plan on, at least in Toronto, because there's so many little libraries and neighborhoods near me, to do a little walkabout and drop my book in some of these little libraries too. So I'm going to be providing a bunch of extras and bonuses for the pre-orders, and I'm going to share more details about that in just a moment. But I thought, even though I just shared the title, let me share the description for the book, because that will give you a better sense on what the book is actually about. I know I've shared bits and pieces and kind of teased things, but I really wasn't able to fully explain what this book is about. So let me do that right now. And to do that, because I'm actually blind as a bat, I'm going to put my glasses on because I really can barely read my computer screen without my glasses. Okay, Everything But Money. Money therapy that goes beyond the budget and gets to the root of your relationship with money, from accredited financial counselor and host of the popular More Money podcast, Jessica Moorhouse. Why is money the number one stress in my life? How do I keep getting into debt after working so hard to get out? Will I ever have enough money to make me feel secure? If this sounds like you, it's time to think about your money story. For the past decade, Jessica Moorhouse, an accredited financial counselor Canada and money expert, has had intimate conversations with strangers from around the world who trust her to listen without judgment and offer solutions to their financial problems. It is Moorhouse's experience, as well as fact supported by research, that a lot of stuff prevents you from thinking about money clearly and getting out of your own way. This book includes all the insecurities, fixations, and inherited ideas about money that you carry around, and provides a guide on how to get past them. No number of top 10 tips or golden rules will help you with your money struggles unless you confront what is causing them in the first place, be it trauma, human behavior, or an unjust social system. It's only when you acknowledge and understand the real source of your money issues that you can start making a plan to finally overcome them. Some of the topics explored in the book include realizing how past trauma shapes your negative relationship with money, unlearning some of the truths about money that are hurting you, recognizing patterns and red flags to stop the cycle of poor financial decision-making, understanding the institutions and systems that are holding you back financially, and learning the difference between good and bad financial advice. learning how to trust yourself and others when it comes to money management. And finally, creating a new path for achieving financial freedom. Everything But Money is a practical, inspirational book that teaches readers to uncover their money story and empowers them to create a new, healthier, and happier relationship with money. Okay, so let me take those glasses off. That is the description. That is what my book is about. And really how I would describe it is a self-help / psychology personal growth book with a big splash of money in there. So it really, if you're looking for, and I talk about this in the intro of the book, if you're looking for a how to budget book, even though there actually is a section on how to create a budget, but that's kind of near the end, which is all about kind of setting your financial foundation so you can afford things like therapy and, personal growth. It's not a book on how to invest or how to build wealth in that kind of practical invest in index funds and things that we talk about on the podcast. I wanted this book to answer why so many people listen to my podcast or read a bunch of books or follow all these influencers online to learn about how to be better with money, and it's nothing sticking, nothing is working. So it's not a financial literacy issue. It's not an information issue. There's something else going on. And even if you're really good with money, guess what? Like myself, I'd say I'm pretty good with money. I've still got my money quirks. I still have things that are holding me back. And so this is what the book is ultimately meant to answer and to help you work through so you can move on, move forward, and develop a much healthier relationship with money into the future. So with that, let me now share the cover of the book. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're like, yeah, can't see anything because I'm listening, if you go to my Instagram, I'm going to share this. If you go to jessicamoorhouse.com/book, I will reveal the cover there as well. So you can take a look at it. But I want to kind of provide my kind of idea of what this cover means. So what I'm going to be real honest and raw with you right now. When you are an author, you have to fight a lot of battles. You have to fight for your title. You have to fight for your cover. You have to fight for the formatting of the book. You have to fight for so many different things. And you want to make sure that you are fighting the right battles. So certain things you compromise on, certain things that you're going to let go, but there's certain things you're like, no, this is what's going on. And that's how this cover kind of came about. I was presented with one, apparently everyone liked. I did not. It was not for me, is the nicest way I'll put it. And so I asked, do you have other options? And this was one of the last ones. They're like, oh yeah, and then there's this one. And I'm like, that's the cover. That's it. That it spoke to me. I loved it. We made, of course, some little tweaks because I have a specific kind of idea of things. But this was the cover that I'm like, yes, this is absolutely representative of what's inside the book. And when you see it, as you can see, there's lots of layers, different colored layers. And what that means is, for me, is like it could be your own interpretation. My interpretation of the art in this cover is when you're reading the book, when you're doing the work, and there's lots of exercises and self-work in there, you're peeling back layer by layer to get to kind of the root of what's going on. And sometimes those layers are dark, sometimes they're light, sometimes they're bright. They're all over the place, but they're all part of you. And so that's kind of why they look like waves. They're different colors, just to kind of, show you that, yeah, that's kind of what the cover means to me. We're going to do some work. And also, I think another kind of interpretation that I like that I actually got from my sister is kind of like the waves of emotions you're going to go through as you start digging deep and thinking about lots of the topics in the book. So that's kind of my interpretation of the book cover. You can have any interpretation you like. It's art, so no wrong answers, but hopefully you like the cover just as much as I do. Okay, so last thing I want to share with you, but probably the most important actually, is pre-orders. So I think I've mentioned this on the podcast a few times. I've had a lot of conversations with authors over the years. Pre-orders are super important for especially a first-time author. That and reviews. So once the book is out and you're able to do a review on Amazon, on Goodreads, on Indigo, on wherever, please leave me a review and please make it, a nice one. I mean, I guess all reviews are good. It's engagement and whatever, but I'm not looking forward to those nasty reviews. There's always going to be someone you can't please. What can you do? Which is why I highly recommend reading the intro of my book to make sure it's the right, you actually want to read this book. But for the pre-orders, When you make that pre-order, again, jessicamoorhouse.com/book is where you can find all the links to do that. Go back to that page, jessicamoorhouse.com/book. There will be a special link or button that you click on so you can submit some of your contact details and your proof of purchase. So a screenshot of your receipt or, the proof from your email that says you pre-ordered the book. Because then on book launch day, on New Year's Eve, you will then get an email from me that provides you access to all of these extras that are only going to be available to people who've pre-ordered. So if you buy the book after the book is out on shelves, you can't access all of these goodies. These are a special thank you to everyone who's pre-ordered. And if you're wondering what these special things are, okay, let me go through them. I've got a whole list of things. So we're going to have some recordings of me walking you through some of these mindfulness practices. Again, it will make sense when you read the book. There's going to be some recordings of me walking you through them. We are going to have a bunch of different exercises that are in the book, but they're going to be downloadable worksheets, and that may have some companion videos with them as well. So as you're going through the book, you can download the worksheet, fill it out instead of having to write it inside the book. I always hate that. I'm like, I don't want to touch my book. I don't want to mess it up or deface it. So you have some worksheets for that. There is going to be a list of all the books that I reference I would suggest some additional reading. Obviously, all of those will be listed in the back of my book, but this will make it really easy for you to see kind of all of my book recommendations. These are books that I not only reference in the book, but they honestly changed my life, hence why they made their way into my book as a reference point. So that's going to be in there. And most importantly, you are going to get a chance to enter to win. So I'm going to do a draw because I cannot offer this to everyone who pre-orders, but there's going to be a lucky few who get a special one-on-one 1-hour session with me where we're going to do a deep dive on your own money story. So I'm really excited about that. And I think I will also I'm just got the idea right now. I think I'm going to also add a special kind of book club, virtual book club for everyone who's pre-ordered. So we'll kind of hop on Zoom and do a little book club with your author, me. So those are all the things that you can expect when you pre-order your book, but you do have to provide me with your contact details and proof of purchase so I know you did it. So I can also contact you to access all of these goodies. So yeah, I think that's really it. That's all the details, right? We got the cover, the title, the description, the pre-order information, the day it's going to hit shelves. I cannot wait for you to get a copy of this in your hands and read what I've been working on for the past 2 years. There's a lot of personal stuff I've put in the book that I've never shared with anyone. So you're going to get a deeper look into me and my own money story and me being probably the most vulnerable I ever have. So that's something to look forward to. And yeah, there's so much exciting stuff in the book. I just can't wait for you to read it. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, for supporting me through your emails and DMs over the past couple years as I've been writing this book. It really was a labor of love. It's also the scariest thing I've ever done. I'm really, really proud of it. And yeah, I'm just, really, really grateful for honestly having this opportunity to actually put out a book. So this is really exciting. Thank you so much. And our regularly scheduled programming of the podcast will be back next Wednesday, and I will see you then. The More Money podcast would not be possible without the amazing talents of podcast producer Matt Rideout, who you can find at mravcanada.com.